We're live. What's up, Deb?
Hey, it's a beautiful Friday, and I'm so excited because I'm in Atlanta and I get to go back to Pensacola today. So I'm super excited about that.
Did you get your shopping in? Because every time you
Oh, of course. I would not come to ATL if I didn't have time for shopping and lots of restaurants. So we hit quite a few this time.
there's more every week. It's just like we
I
can't
know.
keep up with it all. So today, a shocker, like we're going to talk about AI because everybody's talking about AI, but we're going to zero in a little bit on AI as an operating system for the business.
Yeah, I mean, I've read a couple of articles and just in the last couple of weeks, about this idea of as AI as an operating system. And clearly it's still a metaphor at this stage. However, what I hope we can kind of put our finger on in our discussion today is to push people to think about AI differently from the way they're probably using it, because most people are way underutilizing the power of AI. So, yeah, so operating system. So, Jeff, when I say AI is acting like the operating system, what does that mean to you?
Well, I think, at least for me, because we are already using it as an operating system in many ways, it is moving just past putting something into a prompt, getting an answer, transforming an input into an output. At every department in the business, sales, finance, marketing, IT, we have processes, we have different systems, we have ways that we work together to get outputs out. So AI, with its intelligence layers, can be inserted at key points of that process, first of all, to automate tasks and make them better, and things that to free up more human strategy and intuition. But also because of AI, Deb, you can actually design better and new ways of working, also in an operating format. So we see every CEO and board act the same way. Oh, you got to implement AI, and they're thinking it's efficiency, cut head counts, let's just be efficient. But efficiency by itself has limited utility. I'm not saying it's not important. Yes, of course, go in and say but that gets you 6 months to a year. Then what, right? How do you dynamically and completely change the way that you work, what your workforce looks like, and how you go to market? It does not mean getting rid of people. It means human plus AI and reimagining and rethinking how systems and AI work together in a more meaningful way.
Well, and not just systems and AI, but even decisions, right? How decisions get done. I mean, if you think about our daily life, we just have a big old mess of stuff. We've got emails, we've got conference calls, we've got follow-ups we need to do, we've got proposals that we need to write, right? And that whole process right now is I do this, and then I do this, and then I do this. And AI could help you think about and not only deliver all of those things, but do it at a higher level. So it's not just how quickly can I respond, but how can I put all these pieces together in a very quick and efficient way. So, I mean, I really want to push everybody to think about AI in the vein that you were just talking about it. What if as a manager, a VP, a CMO, a head of sales, you came in and you said, okay, guys, today we're going to stop everything that we're doing and we are going to reimagine everything that we do, our processes, how we think about things, and we're going to have AI be our main layer for how digital happens, how we can turn this big mess of process and thinking and decisioning into something more simple, elegant, and effective for the client and also for us. I mean, let's say if we did that in the sales organization, Jeff, for example, what would that look like?
Well, let's look at some of the areas where sales spends so much of its time and so much unproductive time on prospecting to proposal writing, right? Huge time sinks. What do we want salespeople to do? Well, we want them having conversations with qualified buyers. That's what we want them to doing and really driving that relationship. Prospecting, the bane of every salesperson's existence. Even if you have a fantastic marketing department that's giving you marketing qualified leads, that's only the tip of the iceberg. The number of touch points, right, across all the different people on the buying committee and finding something original to say versus I'm just checking in, Deb, or, and so we've already deployed this both for ourselves, and we're starting to do this with clients. We're building out AI-driven prospecting systems where you have your ICP, you do the research, you find every single possible person that you would engage with the client. The AI is going out, researching these people, their company, press release, their education, everything. And in the past, because you and I have been in marketing more years than we forget, like nurturing. Oh, geez, Deb, should we do an 8-touch, a 10-touch, 12-touch? Should we send it out once a week? Should we send it out on Tuesday at 4 or Thursday at 7? What should the subject line be? Oh, we need to be content. Well, AI does all of that dynamically. It could say, gosh, Debbie seems really engaged. I'm going to send her 3 emails today. Or Debbie is not engaged. I'm going to wait a week or 2 weeks. But every word, every letter, every syllable of these emails is completely personalized to you.
Oh yeah. And what's so exciting about that is that as a salesperson, you don't have to wait for your company to create that for you. These are many things that you can do yourself.
Of course you can. Yeah. I mean, if you have, whether you use ChatGPT or Claude, which I gotta say, like ChatGPT is amazing, but Claude is just, it's going fantastic with its creativity. But yeah, you can set up skills. You can set up artifacts. You can start building out these little agents that will build out this copy.
So let's walk this through, right? So as a salesperson, I come in today and I've had a call, and I may take my notes and I put my notes into ChatGPT, and I would say, write me a follow-up email for this, right?
Before you get there, but even better.
Right. Let's add to that, because that's probably where a lot of salespeople stop. Right.
Well, I was going to say before that, though, record every call.
Yes.
Get the transcript, the transcript plus your notes.
Yeah. Exactly. Your transcript plus your notes. Right. And so that would be like a level dumbass. Right. If that's the only way, really.
People aren't even doing that.
I know. But even, I call it the dumbass level, because if you're.
Is that the new maturity level?
I know. If you're working in the world today, professional anything, and that's the only thing you're using AI for. It's kind of like ridiculous, right? Yes. So that's the dumbass level. So let's help that salesperson improve. So what's the next thing they might do?
So the next thing is, okay, don't write me just one email. Build me out a dynamic multi-touch step series based upon whether or not they respond or not. And then it will give it.
And Jeff, and what would they build that in? Would it be just coming? They don't have to be connected to their marketing automation system.
They don't. No,
this is just something that will be automatically come out of the salesperson's email to.
Well, not quite. So that's probably skipping a couple steps. So what they could do is, not being connected to anything, they could go into Claude or Copilot or ChatGPT. They could have it generate the text. They can copy and paste and send it out. Even that would be a huge time sink and time saver. And then they could set up.
Right. And even more. So let's just do some really easy steps, right? That gets them from that dumbass level to, really.
Yeah, so just create chats for each of your prospects. So each chat has its own persistent memory, and you feed the transcript, and then you just you send out the email. Wait until see if the prospect responds. You take the email response from the prospect, you put it back into the feed, and you say, okay, here's what they said, or here's what they didn't say. Hey, it's been a week, they didn't respond, or here's what they said, now what? And then wait for it to write the next one, and then you send that out.
Right. Or, another direction you could go is you could take the transcript of the call, and you think you know what they said, but you could ask ChatGPT, what are they really saying here? What is the most pressing need? And the ChatGPT or Claude would know what products and services that you sell. And then you could say, given this person's profile, what is the best way for me to respond to them, right?
Yes, you can ask about their DISC profile, their personality. But also, and I've done this for years. Like, I always rate myself after every sales call, because it's, even when you're really good at something, you can make mistakes and not have your best day. Like yesterday, I was doing a call with Scott, and I just knew I wasn't on, it was not my best call. And I didn't even have to put it into it to tell me it wasn't bad, but it was really good because it was very specific. And it was like, hey, that was a 6 out of 10. Here's the 3 things that you did right.
It-
Here are the 6 things that you missed.
exactly.
I'm like, and I knew that I missed them, but it's
Yeah.
so helpful to see it in like black and white to say,
Yep.
oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And there are even apps where you could take that MP4 or that transcript, put it in. It tells you how you did, and then you can re-practice how you might have done that, right? And how cool is that? So, so these are really basic things that they can do. Right?
So that would be one basic thing. Even before the call, pre-call prep, which is interesting.
Oh my gosh, pre-call prep.
So we did we have AI agents now that completely built out the brief. It's like, okay, so here's who you're going to be talking with. Make sure that you ask these 3 questions. And normally I do, but yesterday, like I said, I was off. I didn't ask any of them in the brief. And then, so of course, when we went back to reevaluate, you're like, Jeff, dumbass, like you had the brief. It was right in front of your face.
Right in front of you. Right in front of you. So give our listeners an example. How would you use AI to build a brief before you had that first phone call?
So the brief would look up the person that you're going to be talking to, look up their industry, their client, develop. It could actually analyze their LinkedIn, their Facebook post to develop a psychological profile and look at your career history and progression. And it would say, oh, so, Debbie is, highly educated. She's very good at marketing. She's a futurist. You should speak to her about things that appeal to the human condition. Here are the 3 questions that you should really zero in. Make sure that you get this addressed. Here's the likelihood that Deb will respond to this, but don't phrase it this way, phrase it that way, stuff like that.
Also, what's going on in their company, right?
What's going on in their company,
need to be aware of. And again, that takes about, 2 hot seconds to do.
Literally.
Right? Really. It's literally,
And you could also have it where it just reads your calendar and does it automatically. Where, I see, Jeff, you have 7 sales calls this week. I'm just
I love that so much. That is, and it actually gives it to you before you need it. You don't have to think about it. You just got like you were saying, 7 calls. And so boom, 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 these briefs are coming to you. I mean, how cool is that? I mean, well, first of all, who wouldn't want to do that? Why wouldn't a salesperson do that? Because they don't know that they can do that. That's the whole reason right there.
Yeah. So, so really, if you look at all the touch points, so, okay, I can do the research before the call. I can, and I have it like a blueprint in front of me. Now, look, you still got to do your job and listen to that conversation. And before we're like, oh, geez, if AI is doing all this, what do we need? Why do we even need salespeople? Why do we even need people? It's still missing the point. The job here is not to have these things replace the people. It's to make the busy work collapse and give us the intelligence so that we can have a better conversation. Because look,
so imagine every phone call, a first phone call, you're scrambling around. You looked at their LinkedIn profile, and then you just jump on a call.
Right. And you're winging it.
All of that information in front of them.
You have it.
And the client and the prospect is thinking, wow, they are so prepared. And you are prepared. Just because it didn't take you much time doesn't mean anything. But
when of course, you actually use it. But yes.
When you use it, Jeff, you've got to use it. You've got to use it.
I use AI more than anybody. And look, I'm still human. Yeah. I have moments where
exactly. And I was talking to somebody the other day, and the conversation was around how most companies are using AI to see how low they can go and cutting cost, efficiency, and all of those things. And they really are not looking at for growth strategies, right? And the reason I wanted to have our conversation more focused on sales today is because these are tools that salespeople have today. Yes. Right here in their hands, that they don't need to wait for their company to do for them. These are things that they can do, all by themselves to create. And again, I think, and along with that, even though AI is doing a lot of the prospecting and a lot of the heavy lifting, at no time in modern history have people wanted companies and salespeople to be more authentic than now. So just think about your level of understanding of what's going on with that client and that person, right?
You can be more present. You should be more present, and you're using the intelligence to ask better questions, more insightful questions. And then it's all the busy work in between. Because look, at the end of the day, the customer doesn't give a shit about the assessment, doesn't care about the proposal, doesn't care about the communication. They
Mhm.
want their problem fixed. Whatever it is that you're in business to sell and deliver, that's what they want. They
That's
want
right.
the answer. So the quicker you can get through the questions, the discovery, and get to the point where whatever this thing is that needs to be fixed, fix it.
Mhm.
That's where you drive value, right? And then you spend your time where it really matters is on building the relationship and having authentic,
Mhm.
deeper conversations.
Yeah, and everything is based on that client understanding that you have from the beginning. And so whether you're giving them a follow-up email, a recap of a meeting, or just a soft drip out to them, it is all in the context of that client. And it's just, let's get this thing programmed with some agents and off it goes. That's
So
it.
you have call prep, you have correspondence. There we talked about coaching a little bit. So that's another thing. Like run a simulation. Hey, go
Mhm.
back through this last transcript, and I want to practice. Take me through again where the prospect brought up these things, and I'm gonna like answer. And then of course now you don't
Mhm.
you can just speak into these
Right.
LLMs. You don't have to
Right.
type it. And then grade me. And I'm going to keep
Mhm.
practicing. So
Right.
like a salesperson that cares about really being the best at their career should do this.
They really
And then,
should.
have-
And
and then,
again,
and then there's proposal generation, which
yeah.
that can also be.
Which we haven't even,
Yeah.
before we get to proposal generation, let me just, because I want to go to that one next too. So, when they're thinking about the client and they're getting to know the client and they're using AI for intelligence to understand, who the client is, I think that the other part of that is, and it's a little bit about coaching, but it's really about after the call is done, is to really have a independent third party stand back and say, what was that client really asking for? Because we can have happy ears as
Yes.
salespeople, right? And so just, instead of, just, honestly, and understanding in your business, what are those key questions? What are those key things that clients say that will help them begin that journey with you? And so it's not just a style, it's also, did I really get to the heart of the matter? And you can't put on happy ears that way, right? And it's just going to help you understand better how to do that follow-up. So, you're not missing each other as you begin that journey together.
Yeah. The other thing too, and this isn't just for sales, for every department, all these LLMs are, I think the way they're built or trained are default to giving you a positive reinforcing answer. Oh, Deb, that was brilliant. You did a great job. The way we're training them and the way I use them, am I asking, no, rated objectively on a scale of 1 to 10, how well did I do using all this criteria?
Mhm.
Because I don't want it to agree with me. I want the agents to disagree with me. I want it to push me. I have like this
Yeah, and
to say, yeah, you were pretty good on that call, but you could have opened better. You could have established more empathy. You should have asked this other question. You
Mhm.
didn't phrase it the best way. I'm like,
Mhm.
thank you. Okay, like that. That's
Yeah.
gonna keep
And-
making it.
And you're right, Jeff. Instead of just saying, how did I do? You could give it your pre-established criteria for what you think success would look like on that call and say, how did I do against these markers? And did I miss something? Is there something I'm not asking? Is there something I'm not listening to? Right?
Every sales training methodology should already be doing this, whether it's Sandler, Miller, Hyman,
Yeah,
or customer centric,
absolutely.
or whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
You should be MedPick. Have this in there so
Mhm.
you're objectively rating yourself. And look, you could be the best salesperson on the planet. You could still have an off call, an off day.
Right, exactly. Or, and it could be, there's a particular area in the sales call that you're not so good. Maybe it's establishing rapport up front, or maybe it's not asking the one tough question, what kind of budget do you have to work for? Whatever that is. And so again, having your own criteria for how well you did. I mean, it's just brilliant. It's such a simple thing to do. All right. So we've got the salesperson through getting ready for the call, on the call, doing some soft touches, afterwards.
And now they're ready for the proposal.
Now they're ready. And then there's a call where it's more of a discovery call, right? So let's talk about getting ready for the call that the client, moves to proposal, right? So how would you prepare for that call differently than, if they're going to be moving forward and this is the call where you guys kind of get to the nuts?
Well, again, I think it's just a different call prep, right? Okay. The client's expecting a verbal discussion of pricing or approaches.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the X number of calls we've had so far. Here's the transcripts. What should I be asking for today? Should I be, any insight onto your pricing models, outcomes, shared risk, length of term, those
Mm-hmm.
things that I should bring up,
Mm-hmm.
and then go into the call.
Mm-hmm.
And just depending, every business is a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Software vendors tend to send out simple one-page quotes with the license tiers, number of seats, and it's pretty straightforward. In our world, consulting, our proposal
Services.
services, we tend to be longer, more engagement, describing the engagement. But however you want to do it, whether it's a 1 page or 10 pages or a PowerPoint, you can build a template that the LLMs will use. And say,
Jeff, what if you could build the proposal while you're on the phone call with the client?
You can do that too, Deb.
How cool would that be, right?
Yeah, and you can even have a little widget on your website that says, "Hey, okay, so let's share. I'm going to share my desktop. You said you wanted this. Let's build this in real time. Is this what you need?" Yes. So there are multiple ways to do it.
But again, coming into that call, you would have your LLM take a look at everything that you've talked before. It understands what you sell, how you sell, and you would be prepared for that call. So you know what questions to ask, and you're just going to you don't have to try to remember every discussion that you've had, although most salespeople, if they're good ones, have great memories, right? And it just brings it together that much better. And then you know exactly what to gather so that proposal is done quickly.
Yes. And, it's a bit of a simplified view, but still holds. Where it gets a little bit more complicated is when you start selling into the enterprise and you have to deal with procurement and legal and IT, and everybody starts taking a cut from different lenses. But even that, there's ways of addressing that too.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and I was going to say, even helping your prospect navigate through that process.
Yes.
Right.
Tools, business case, justification, all those kinds of things. So, but these are tools, because ultimately, sure, as a salesperson, you're trying to get the deal closed, but really it's about getting the prospect. They acknowledge their pain. They're happy with the answer and the solution that you have. They feel comfortable with the price. But remember, as soon as that contract's signed, no matter how you're using AI, now the risk is shifting right on the client. They just made a decision, and now they have to own it. So all these things can be used to help them feel more comfortable that your company is the right partner, you're the right person, and you have risk adjusted this as best as possible. But at every single touch point, AI can play a role. Win-loss analysis. Hey, why am I not closing as much deals as the rest of my peers? Oh, well, go in, let's analyze their transcripts and how they're approaching it. Okay, well, here's why. They're doing these 3 things consistently more than you are. Let's work on this. Let's coach you. So there's a lot of tools to systematize and operationalize the selling process with AI. And you can then connect AI to every department. So today we focused on sales. We could have just as easily talked about finance or IT. Or
any department. That's exactly right.
But again, I want to emphasize for the C-level executives and the boards and the private equity firms that are thinking about this purely as a headcount savings and efficiency. That's
a dumbass play too.
Yes, you're missing the mark by a large margin because it's so much more than that.
Yeah.
And not to mention, once you get the systems down, it's the intelligence layer, right? It's AI helping you unlock new revenue streams, new ways of working and engaging your market in ways that you might not have even conceived.
That's right.
And that's really where the magic starts.
That's where the magic, and those companies who understand and can use AI to unlock growth and new markets, those are the companies that are going to be that are winning, not the ones that are, how low can we go on efficiency?
So put that operating system in.
Put it in. Think about AI as the orchestrator of your digital life.
Ooh.
And then ask the question: if we used AI to reimagine all of our work processes, what would that look like?
Okay, guys, get to imagining. You have all Easter weekend to practice. So
Yeah, that's exactly right. I hope everyone does have a nice Easter weekend, and a pleasure as always, Jeff.
yes, ma'am. Thanks, Dr. Deb. We'll see y'all next week.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.